Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today I've got another project where I'm hashtag stretch your stash. And so I've made 6 cards out of a 6x12 bit of a paper share. And so it is from the Snowman season. It's the Let It Snow paper. And I've made these 6 cards out of that one sheet. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I put all of these together. So I looked at this sheet. Obviously I used to have a 12x12, but I cut it down, and I thought these just scream of being a card topper in itself. So that would be logically 4 cards, but I thought, oh, I could probably get a few more if I'm a little bit clever with cutting and sort of maybe using some die cuts. So I thought, oh, I do love me stitched dies, so I thought, oh, some of these would fit nicely into squares, but then I thought, oh, some of them we could use the rectangles with, and that don't quite work, but that does, or that, or that. So those were kind of some of my thoughts, and then if we're left with some snowmen on their own, we can cut them out with these depending on what we choose to do. So those were my thoughts, was to use these 3 dies and attempt to get as many out of this set as we can. So I was kind of thinking of trying for 6. So my thoughts were cut that one out and then punch that and stick him there. That was one of my thoughts. And then with this one, I thought we could do that, and maybe if we get another snowman we can stick him there. That one I feel needs to be them 2, and that one needs to be a square. So 2 squares, 2 rectangles. We might put that one on there, and then on that one we might have to stamp one to put on. So that's our 4, 5, that gives us 6. Unfortunately we've got a half of one there, but that's how I thought we'd get our 6. So in order to be able to cut these out with the dies, we're going to have to cut them up. So let's slice them. Let me double check that I'm slicing them. Yeah, so we kind of go under where that snow is. We'll be okay. So if we cut them all up along where that snow is. Let me double check with this one. Yep. I want to check before I do it. I want to go there for that. Yeah. So I want to go slightly under that snow. There. So that's them cut out, and now they're manageable in the big shop, because cutting out this, it needs to go in on an angle, so we want it to be able to do that. So I'm going to push that over as far as possible to cut that out. We're going to cut that out as a square. do those two as a square. That one's on its own, that one's on its own, and then that one's going to be another rectangle. So I'm going to get them die cut, and then we'll see where we go from there. So that's the die cutting done. As I was cutting, I changed my mind slightly because I cut them so that I could get these two punched out for on there, and I've just got these little bits of sort of scraps left, and there's going to be some scraps from there where I'm not going to throw away because I'm sure I will find a use for those. This one, I'm going to just chop that bit off there because that's quite a nice long bit that I can use, and I need to chop it off to get the punching to be able to punch out that snowman. So that's a nice little sliver there. So this particular snowman fits the punch, so I'm going to punch him out, line him up. Oh, I forgot about the hat. Well, we could have a little red hat, so I can stick him on there, and he could have a red hat. That's cute, actually, quite like that. And then we could cut this one out. Now I could save that because I've got another idea of how I'm going to dress him up. I think I'm going to use the snowman embellishment kit, so rather than get another hat cut out, that's a bit more of a usable size there. Got matching on that side really, and see if that's good enough to hold on to line up in this punch. There we go. There. And that's ready for there, and I think I might use the snowman embellishment kit and he's got that hat, that red will tie in nicely. Might give this one, because he's got such lovely pink cheeks. Might give him a pink hat and a pink scarf. None of them have got arms, so I might put some arms on or stamp some arms. I will decide whether or not I think they need arms or not. So, and I might use that lovely glittery washi tape as well, so I won't move that too far away. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and a few little scraps there that we might use. So that's the beginnings of the cards. So I cut out of Coastal Cabana, I've cut 6 card bases, and I've got my usual mat on the inside, and then I've got a mat cut out for the top, which I may or may not emboss. I've got my snowflake embossing sort of folder that I made. I might use that. Might do a bit of stamping. I might stamp a hat or use some more out of the embellishment kit. So I just wanted my ideas to start forming. It can't go crossways, can it? No, so that has to be a that way. And then we've got that square one. I might make some frames to go round them. But that is the beginnings of my cards. I've just realised that one's got the sprig on that side and that one's got the sprig on that side. I hadn't noticed that before. Oh, and I've got a sprig punch, haven't I? Which I had forgotten about, and I've got the real red glimmer paper as well. So I've got quite a lot that I can play with. So there we are. That is my beginnings. So I'm now gonna think what I'm gonna do next. So I'm going to do some sentiments and cut them out and kind of play with where they might be. So I've mounted the Merry Christmas and the Let It Snow. I've got some Coastal Cabana ink and I've got some Whisper White cardstock. So I'm just gonna move these whilst I do my stamping. So I've got some scraps here for cutting out. I know from previous cards that this Merry Christmas fits in one of the stitch rectangles really nicely. So that's something I'm thinking about. I'm going to get the one out that I usually use because I'm not sure if I can get two across there. Is that one, isn't it? So I put one there. One that, yeah, so I can do that on both sides. So that gives me two nicely. Do another one on that. And one on there, and then I might do some Let It Snows. Stick that on my chamois that's over there. Let's have some Let It Snows. On there, let me try my punch. I'm going to punch that out with the 1 3/8 scalloped. If it fits, does just. See what that looks like. Matted with a 1 1/2 in Coastal Cabana. Got some Coastal Cabana scraps here. Let's try that out. Not sure if I've cut too much off it. I think it might be all right. It works a little bit like a snowball. So we'll do another one of them. Over there. And get that cut out. And then I'm going to die cut these with this, and then I might die cut in Coastal Cabana the one to go around the outside. So I'm going to do that die cutting, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I've been busy cutting out lots and lots of different die cuts, and I've used my homemade embossing folder as well to emboss some of the backgrounds. And so I've been playing, and I think I've sort of pieced them how I want them. So this one obviously I haven't embossed, and I've decided to sort of go something like that with that one. So that's a little bit of the spare DSP there. And then this one, kind of similar layout. So this one, the background has been embossed in, I'm standing up here, so I'm trying to see there. I think you can see there where it's got a subtle snowflake sort of embossing background, and so that's instead of that strip of DSP. But I think what I might do is use the washi tape from the embellishment kit. I think I might put a bit of washi tape around the bottom of this. I might actually do it on that one as well. So I might just stick a bit of that washi tape on there, and it kind of glows with the blinginess. If I just made that word up. Blinginess. It is a bit blingy. Of that there, just to give it a little bit of something extra pop there. So I might put it on there, quite like that. Put a bit on there. Move it down a bit. Good job it's washy. There. Quite like that. Just gives it a little bit of something. I might put some jewels on there. Right, so let's get these two stuck down, and then we'll have a look at the others. So I'll stick these down but speed it up for you. So that's those two done. I'm going to do some stamping on the inside, which is why I haven't stuck the inside in. I think I'm just going to do some snowflakes. So there is a little snowflake stamp there. So I think I'm just going to get my Coastal Cabana and put a few snowflakes in the corners. Just think that gives it a little bit of something special when you open it up. I've done this on the other side. There you go. Doesn't really matter, do it? There we go. I'm going to put that on my chamois. I might, when I decide who I'm giving these cards to, put hoping this season builds heartwarming memories. Might put that on it. But as yet, I just make my Christmas cards. and not really sure who they're going to. So there we go. Just think it finishes it off nicely. And I may even do some stamping on the envelopes. One night when I'm watching telly, I might get a load of envelopes and stamp snowflakes on them as well. So that's them first two done. So let's have a look at the next ones. So let's do them in pairs. So these are the next two. So again, I've embossed these. So I wanted to turn, so that's the same shape, I wanted to turn it around, and I've cut the same size of the stitch matting on that, put it on there, and I'm going to decide now whether I want to bling it up. And here I've cut the same size square, so rather than have a complete mat, just going for half mats, and I think like before I will stick these up, and I think that snowman needs a hat. We have dropped my blingy. There we go. So I might give him I don't want to give him a scarf, it's going in his face. Can't really put it, well, I could put it the wrong way round and that would just look like rubbish sewing. I don't know now. Don't like the mittens on it, but I'm trying to decide whether or not I'll give him a green hat instead. Because then it goes with the green there. Might do that. Think I prefer that. Think that looks a bit better. Okay, and then on here I might put a bit of washi. Like I did on the others. Do like the look of that. I might have to go over with some rhinestones. There. So I'm going to get those all stuck down. So there we have those two finished there. So now to the final two, which are very, very similar. So this is the one where we're adding the snowman in, and I haven't embossed this one because you don't really see the background very much. And so what I've decided to do is to have one with the Let It Snow and one I'm going to stamp directly on here. So I'm thinking that I might do the stamping first, because I don't want it to go all pink tong. So I want this Merry Christmas to be in the bottom here and straight. So let's hope. There. That is fine. And I'm going to put this one together first, just in case I want to copy it. So we're going to have the corners covered that way. Yep, I was just checking that there was enough room. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down, and we'll be popping the punched out snowman up on dimensionals. So that there's some interest there. So I'm going to get that stuck down in place. So that I can check. I'm going to measure it on the grid mat, make sure it's straight. And stick that down. Yep. Looking good. And then we want stick our snowman's hat on. Because it's glimmer paper, it might not stick very well. So I might need to stick that bit down. Actually, what I might do is check I'm not covering his eyes. And now my hand's all sticky. I can't get it up without moving. What I really want to do is put some tear and tape on. I think that'd be the easiest way of attaching the hat. To the back here. Yep. I think that's the way to do it. So now I'm just going to get some dimensionals on the back here. I think we'll do 3. Need to take the backing off that, it's not wanting to stick on that backing. Everything's stuck to me. Oh dear, oh dear. There we go. Haven't got enough fingers. And then I can stick that one over on the join. There we go. Gosh, that was a bit hard. There we are. And then we can snip that jolly little soul in the middle there. And then I'm going to stick this on before I stick the scarf on, because then whilst I'm assembling the other, I can be sticking something heavy on it, hold it down. So I'm going to put the punch on top of there to hopefully stick that scarf on. Right, I'm going to do much the same now, so I'll do this, speed it up a bit for you. So there we are. So that's those ones finished now as well. So that is all 6 cards made from that one sheet of 6 by 12. There. So just a little bit of thought about how you cut those snowmen out can give you maximum usage. And I do like to hashtag stretch my stash. So yeah, I like them. I hope you do too. Yeah, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. Give me a like. Go over and visit my blog. There'll be links to my shops. There's links to my shop down below. And go and have a look at some more of my stuff. Okay, bye now.